Warmest welcome to World Humanitarian Drive's Embracing World Moral Day. Join us in campaigning to the United Nations for World Moral Day to be celebrated every 2nd of September. There are 309 days until the next World Moral Day. Why should we celebrate World Moral Day? What is the importance of morals in today's world? Later on, we will hear the views of prominent global speakers, students, and educators who are partners of World Humanitarian Drive. Here's a brief background about World Humanitarian Drive. World Humanitarian Drive, also known as WHD, is an international NGO founded in Croydon, UK, by British Indian global peace activist, entrepreneur, writer, Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed. The primary vision of WHD is to promote peace, education, and trade harmony initiatives globally among everyone across the world, regardless of race, gender, religion, or nationality, living as one family. We would like to thank the following for making Embracing World Moral Day possible. Our prominent global speakers, His Excellency Anthony Carmona, 5th President of Trinidad and Tobago, WHD's founder, Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, Padma Bhushan Dr. Anil Kohli, Dr. Fajalla Azad, Dr. Sandeep Marwa, our students, parents, our academic partners, those working behind the scenes, WHD's tech team headed by Director of Global Operations, Ms. Sarah Wilson, and also to Mr. Robin Marsh, and to you watching this. Please help us spread love, hope, and morality by sharing this link. Put your comments in the chat box and let us know wherever you are watching this. We encourage you to sign your support to World Moral Day by visiting the website moralday.com. Let us get to know more about World Moral Day. Here's a video. Let's watch.
World Humanitarian Drive. Embracing World Moral Day. A progressive campaign emphasizing the significant need to practice morality in the minds of every individual in this world, and for extending petition to United Nations for World Moral Day to be celebrated annually on the 02nd of September, last day of World War II. 3 years, 60+ countries, 150+ global leaders, 100+ organizations, 2,000+ scholars, 150+ institutions, 50+ campaign partners, 20+ events, 5,000+ participants, 205,167 support signatures. World Moral Day Steering Board. Leading Moral Cycle, a 15 kilometers bicycling ride starting from the Madras War Memorial, which was built to honor the lives of soldiers who sacrificed their lives and shed blood, sweat and tears in World War II in order to attain peace and harmony.
So, we started this campaign for World Moral Day as a campaign to reach billions of people, just to say war is not the solution. People are riding each day to give a message. Maybe it can be to your family, it can be to your friend.
Embracing World Moral Day through arts and literature. World Moral Day competitions organized by over 18 colleges and schools as national, state and district levels throughout India, facilitated by Dr. Fajalla Azad. 300+ winners, 5,000+ entries, 26+ NGO entries, 8 organizing schools, 9 organizing colleges, 10 contests, 3 tiers of events. Embracing World Moral Day through health and fitness. A powerlifting contest in emphasizing healthy lifestyle organized by Mrs. Meenakshi SMS, State President of Tamil Nadu, India. Moral duty, nature's beauty. Planting trees may be one of the best methods today to slow climate change and rising temperatures on Earth. People around the world can work together trying to restore the environment, ultimately the world. Moral Day, Malaysia celebrations. World Moral Day celebrated together with Malaysia Day to signify and register Malaysians' commitment to support the campaign of World Moral Day. Cultural diversity through morality. As a reminder to embrace morality for peace, WHD Nepal organized cultural diversity with morality in support of our initiative. To continue the journey to impact a zillion lives. Thanking our partners. World Humanitarian Drive. Striving for humanity.
Now you know more about World Moral Day celebrations, and without further ado, let us introduce Secretary General of WHD India, who will give the welcome address. Padma Bhushan Dr. Anil Kohli is an Indian dental surgeon, medical administrator, and a former president of the Dental Council of India. With an experience of more than 35 years in dentistry, Dr. Kohli has been the recipient of innumerable accolades, awards, and honors during his career, including the B.C. Roy Award, the highest Indian award in the medical category, Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, and the honorary rank of Brigadier in the Army Dental Corps by the Chief of the Army Staff on behalf of the President of India. Dr. Kohli is also the Secretary General of WHD India, and now it is our great honor to have him give the welcome address.
Thank you, Sarah. His Excellency, the delegates, the families, the students, and the audience, a very warm welcome to one and all. Good evening in India, good morning in England and different parts of the world. We are talking about morality. The role of youth is predominant as youth seeks for more arenas in every element of global development. Through determination to succeed and WHD vision to empower them to consistent more incredible things to their nation and to the world. All of us know the developing countries have a lot of human resource. Take the example of India, where more than 60% of the population is less than 40 years old. So it's a young nation. When we are talking about the nation and the humanity and other things, what is missing in today's world is the morality. Everyone is busy, everyone is running. So it is a very good initiative by WHD to request the United Nations to declare the World Morality Day, which coincides with the Second World War when it ends in September, and the suffering what the society and the humanity has gone, and many people during COVID epidemic lost their lives. I am sure with our consistent support and with our consistent efforts, what we are doing, United Nations will accept and will declare in days to come World Moral Day. And this will be a big achievement for WHD and especially Abdul Saeed, who is doing selfless service for years, which I am watching and doing a lot for the society, for the nation, for the world population. Today, we are aiming for peace, harmony, and we want good education for the coming generation. We need good health system. All these things are going to matter, provided we all think positive and ready to help one another. WHD initiative World Moral Day is the request the United Nations to declare the 2nd September, last day of World War II, as its World Moral Day. So this is the request from our side, from WHD to the United Nations. The reason why WHD want to declare this day as a World Moral Day is to alleviate all the suffering of human lives losses because of the world wars and other pandemic like COVID, to be realized through a moral thinking and action. The event organized by FAO the GT to declare 2nd September as World Moral Day, Peace and Harmony. I will not be taking much of time. I congratulate the whole team, the office of WHD, for doing this wonderful job for a noble cause, and I'm sure this will be accepted and we will feel proud of this thing, which is initiative being taken by WHO. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Dhanyavad. Thank you, Padma Bhushan and Dr. Anil Kohli, Secretary General of WHD India, for that remarkable welcome address. And now we proceed with the first global speaker who will share her views about World Moral Day. Dr. Fajalla Azad considers it her mission to empower the world and touch people's lives in most meaningful ways possible. Dr. Azad is a master life coach, NLP practitioner, master hypnotist, author, speaker, poet, happiness ambassador, and steering committee board member of World Humanitarian Drive's World Moral Day. Let's all welcome Dr. Fajalla Azad.
Greetings to everyone. Before I proceed, I would like to ask a simple question to you all. Do you have a dream? Do you wish it to come true? If so, kindly think upon it, contemplate over it, and reflect. Does it have a message to the universe? Will it have an impact to the universe in helping it to become the world a better place to live? If so, surely your dream will come true. Here I am. Today is the day my dream has come true. Trust me. When I become the global ambassador of WHD, very few of the organizations and NGOs, they take initiatives to make the world a better place to live. Here, my sincere appreciation and thanks to Dr. Abdul Basit Sayed, who is taking a lot of efforts to create peace in the world, traveling everywhere, and making all the efforts to make the change. And next, when I become the steering board member, my happiness got geared up. My dream has come true. And when I thought of campaigning, it struck me it should start from the students, our future generation, our future world, of course. And from where should it have to start? The teachers who mold them. So I decided to start this campaign from there. The moment I thought of it, from nowhere everyone appeared. I must thank Dr. Zuleyha. She stood aside from beginning until now. And when I thought that I had to start from national level, international level, and through state level, something else, whatever I felt, everything got in queue, everything came, and I was able to achieve each and every one. And really, I'm thinking that the competitions are supposed to steer the people to become better But how it end up? It end up like people think that they have to assure that they stand tall, making others look small, compromising the morality. But truly, the competition should spread the message. So I thought to start the competitions in the colleges and in the institutions, schools, and the basis of morality itself. So I took different topics: moral development, responsibility, and being human. You know what? The organizers are just, I appreciate them. They conducted in a greater way, and the students came up with wonderful works. I will say it now. Mostly, you will think about it. What's that? The dream and the message to the universe. It's nothing but if you aspire to become a doctor, it is just a dream. But if you aspire to become a doctor, to serve the universe, to serve the people in need equally, then it is the message to the universe. If you just aspire to become the millionaire, it is you are just a dream. But if you aspire to become the millionaire and help the people in need, the poor people, then it is the message to the universe. If you just think to become a leader, then it is just your dream. But if you consider to bring more leaders through your leadership, then it is the message to the universe. There is no second thought, you will achieve it. The dream will come true. And I like to tell one more thing. We all say, why the world is like this? We just deny, we get angry. Why these people are like this? Why they are injustice? Why they are creating this happiness around that? But I just ask you, is the world is different from yours? Are we not different? We are whom the inhabitant. We are the one creating such a world, what we are talking about here. So as Gandhi said, if you think there is injustice in the world, if you think the change has to be made, that who has to take the first step? Who has to change? The change is to begin from us. We reflect the world. And mostly we think that success needs focus. Success needs focus, yes, of course. But the focus is not what most of us think that. Our focus should be on the success, no matter what, who get hurt, no matter what, how the process goes on. That is not the success. That is not the focus we talk about. The focus is that no matter what are the obstacles come in front of me, we have to be being like an expert, smooth driver who drives the car, no matter what the hurdle is. Even if someone doesn't drive properly, we have to drive smoothly, adjusting to it, understanding them, defending our travel, our journey of success, our journey of reaching the destination that we keep should be like a driving like an expert driver, smooth driver, not hurting anyone. The people who travel with you should feel the comfort. Even the competitors should enjoy your success. It should be like that. There lies the morality. There lies the difference between just a success and the blissful success. So we campaign for the morality. And here's the thing. We always, the life coach, we talk that every hatred, any negative thinking should be closed with only with the positive outcomes. So here, I really appreciate WHD, the founder, that his start, the 2nd of September, where the World War ended, should be celebrated as a moral day. This is just not the celebration of moral day one day. It is that seedling that we are sowing the seeds. It's just making us to like the morality. See, that is the doings and the liking is different. Doing is just we do and we forget. Maybe we are forced to do as well. But liking, it's the aspiration. We like it, it inhibits, it's instilled. So we keep doing things on the basis of and the concept of morality. So there, that comes this meaning. And one more thing I would like to say. It is not that we lived our life. It is not that our story has to end up like her story or his story. Our story should make a history. Together, let's make the history. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fajalla Azad, Global Ambassador of WHD, for sharing your thoughts about World Moral Day. We're excited to announce the winners of our contest later. And now we proceed with the second global speaker who will share his views about World Moral Day. Dr. Sandeep Marwa is a well-known international media person with 7 world records to his credit. He is the founder of Noida Film City and Marwa Studios. He is the Chancellor of Asian Academy of Film and Television, now one of the 10 best film schools of the world. Dr. Sandeep Marwa is an Indian film producer, director, educator, journalist, and businessman. Let's all welcome Dr. Sandeep Marwa.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening from India. Let me start with 2 Hindi lines. कि सभी दिशाओं से शुभ सुंदर भाव विचार भरे नित अंतर पुण्य धरा बन जाए स्वर्ग ये मेरे यत्नों से करुणा कर. His Excellency N.E. Carmona, Dr. Saeed Abdul Basit, Dr. Anil Kohli, Dr. Fajalla Azad, Robin Marsh, all the dignities present here, and my dear young friends. What I'm trying to tell you in these 2 lines, whether it is north, south, east, or west, whether you're in India or abroad, whether you are on the top of the hill or you're standing at a seashore, whether you are in a lush green garden and looking at some colorful flowers, or maybe looking at the most beautiful woman on earth. But the fact is there are 2 things which are much more beautiful than what you can see with your naked eyes. And these 2 things are your thinking and your feelings. And the best part is that both the things are right within you. You don't even need eyes for that. On this very auspicious day, the World Moral Day, let's pray, hey Lord, give me good thinking, give me good feelings so that I can do good deeds. And through my good karmas, I would love to convert this earth into heaven. There is a very old proverb that you are what you think, you are what you eat. And I think very well said, my earlier speakers, they have, I'm not going to repeat all those things. I have, after seeing so many students here, I've changed my pattern of talking today, and I would love to add on today the new definition of education for all my young friends. It's very important for all of you to know what education means. All the time we're talking about education, and in my language, I have given this new definition. When I say education, it starts with E, and E stands for entertaining, exciting, and energetic. My dear friends, remember that anywhere, whether you're in a school or a college, this education should be entertaining, it should be exciting, and it should be calling. It should be in a way, I mean, it's a lesson. If I'm talking, it's a lesson to both the sides, on this side of the table and in that side of the table. So even teachers, if they're there, they must listen to it very carefully, because ultimately, when we talk about moral day or a moral education, trust me, it starts from the day 1 from the school itself. So we have to be very conscious in delivering in the school itself what exactly we are teaching, how we are teaching, and what all extra we are giving along with the subject that matters. The D stands for dedication. You have to be punctual, regular, sincere. automatically your dedication is going to show off. You don't need a label to put on your head to say that I'm a dedicated student or I'm a dedicated person. Your behavior, your day-to-day affairs, they're going to tell people that you are a dedicated person. And when you are dedicated, trust me, your discipline will automatically come up within you. And D stands for discipline also, which is a very important part of learning today, because if you're disciplined, then you can learn well. That's what I have understood. D also stands for a very strong determination, which you have to carry with you. Whatever you're doing, you develop a beautiful conviction within you. When you are right, when your intentions are good, your determination is going to be much stronger automatically. So D plays a very important role when I talk about moral day, when I talk about moral education. U stands for working under controlled circumstances, under controlled circumstances. Very important. Today, we have given so much of facilities to our children that they have become spoiled brats. They have no respect left, unfortunately, for their educational institutions, for their teachers, for the education system. We have to bring back all that things to celebrate a moral day. So we have to start working under given circumstances and given resources also. We don't have to pamper our children to an extent that they should be called as spoiled kids. So this is very important for all of us to understand. When I say C stands for communication. It's an age of communication, my dear friends. It's very important for all of you to speak nice, to speak soft. You should not hurt people. That's very important. You know that all the fights on this earth, they have taken because of difference of opinion, because of lack of communication, because wrong speaking. All the biggest wars, they have all started with the spoiled communication. So it's very important to speak very well. Your words matter. Your sentence is much sharper than the sword itself. So you have to be conscious while speaking, and trust me, half of the wars, half of the difference of opinions, they'll die their own death. C also stands for, my dear friends, commitment. There is a very old proverb in Hindi, ke Raghupati Preet Sada Chali Aayi, Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. The fact is that once you have uttered a word, once you have given a promise, that must be fulfilled. That's what we have learned in India. And I think you have to stand to your commitment. If you really want to show that you are morally high, if you have said one time, then it must be obeyed by you first, then by the people. A stands for attitude. Very important, my dear friends. It's your attitude is going to take you to heights. Higher the ambitions. A also stands for ambitions, mind you. You have to have, as very well said earlier, that you have to have big ambitions. If you really want to become big in life, then you have to think big. And if you really want to think big, then you have to have a very low profile attitude, very supporting, lovable, loving your youngers, respecting your elders, listening to your teachers, obeying the orders, obeying the law. That will show your attitude towards each and every one, towards community, towards your elders, towards your nation. Very important. And then the T stands for being tough. Very important. I mean, I've been interacting with the young guys now and then, and I'm surprised that they get confused with smallest of the complication when they receive during their day-to-day affairs. They get confused, they get worried, they get tense. They cannot solve even their smallest of the problem. They have to rush to the parents, to teachers, to counselors. My God, try to become tough, my dear friends. Very important. You should know how to handle your unforeseen circumstances. And a lot of responsibility comes back to parents and, of course, to the teachers at a school and a college level. We have to teach you that how you have to be tough, and you should be ready, mentally prepared to face unforeseen circumstances. And then that T is going to fulfill the T of the education. And T also stands today, my dear friends, for techno-savvy. Mind you, if you're not technically fit, then probably you will be left behind. And to achieve something in life, to be absolutely on a better and a higher platform, you have to develop yourself technically fit. And I stands for information, very important. Today, it's an age of information. There is a bombardment of information from all the nooks and corners, including the internet, which is throwing ample free information, and our kids, our students, our youngsters, they're getting confused. Develop a sense to cut down the information. Gather only that information which is actually required, because an excess of everything is bad in life. And same with the excess of information. Take only that information which can raise the level of your intelligence. And that intelligence is needed so that you can be innovative in life. And that's what I stands in education. And O stands for the overall development of the child. It's very important. There are times when we've been actually pursuing and working very hard with only chalk and talk system in education setup. But time has come today when we have to work on the overall development of the child, 360-degree development of the child. Then only he will be called a moral high kid in our society. So whether it's way of workshop or seminars or symposium or interaction programs or festivals or co-curricular activities, whatever you can think of, participate, get into each and every activity. It is important to develop your moral, my dear friends. Because if you're participating in sports, if you're participating in co-curricular activities, the different activities at school and colleges, it will add on to the development of the real moral and the moral character of the individual, because you learn to live in a society, you learn to sacrifice, you learn space for others, you become supporting. And that's why we say sportsmanship. And the last in education is N, and N stands for being nationalist. It is very important to love your country, your countrymen, respect the people who have shed blood for the development of your nation. And my dear friends, trust me, whatever country you belong to, it is very important to love your nation, your motherland, and that will add a lot to the moral development of the child. With all these words, I'm sure, because I have very limited time, and with all these words, I can only say that I can only extend my heartiest congratulations to Mr. Dr. Abdul Saeed for conducting such a wonderful program, and on such a beautiful and auspicious day, and giving a wonderful opportunity to me to talk to so many students at the same time. Thank you very much, His Excellency, for giving me a patient hearing. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Jai Hind.
Thank you for that very inspiring message with so many gems, Dr. Sandeep Marwa. And now let's proceed with a third global speaker who will share his views about World Moral Day, WHD's own founder and pioneer of World Moral Day campaign. Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed is a world-renowned British Indian social activist and entrepreneur, property and business consultant, vice president at Space Kids India, vice president at International Diplomatic Club Amicability, steering committee at Faiths Together in Croydon, trustee at Universal Peace Federation, author of Re-Engineering Happiness, the founder and chairman of an international NGO, World Humanitarian Drive, an organization with 3 important objectives: peace, education, and trade harmony. Let's all welcome Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed.
Dear Viva, thank you so much. His Excellency President, we are honored as your presence, which is making us very happy at this point of time. It's an honor for us to have you again as a patron of WHD, Honorable Excellencies, friends, little children who are present over here, and guest speakers who are here. I'm honored. And again, thank you all for joining us on this important initiative of World Moral Day. I started this World Moral Day 2 years back in Chennai, India. I think many of you are from India, Tamil Nadu. We started this event as a global initiative to declare 2nd of September as World Moral Day. And before I go into detail, how many of you had this moral champion certificate? How many of you? Just raise your hands. You don't have to say anything. All of you? Okay. Okay. I can see exciting faces everywhere. Before that, you were just nodding off here and there, but now I can see exciting faces. So, you know, our president, I'll just have to mention a few words about our president. President, His Excellency Anthony Carmona, while during his term, he has a special request for his assistant, his secretary. The president says to his secretary, whenever there is a request from a student or a children, please give that a priority. So he has always given, it doesn't matter if it's from another country's president, it doesn't matter if it's from another prime minister, from another MP, he said, give priority to the next generation. So my beloved children, I know you know the feeling what you are having today. Just imagine that's the feeling he tries to give to all the children who he meets every other day, the inspiration. He is a man of his word and his actions. Sir, we are delighted to have you. And it's an honor always having you as our patron. Our Padma Bhushan, Dr. Anil Kohli, who was a Presidential Council of India's Dental Council. Thank you again. He's the Secretary General of WHT India. Dear our own brother, Marwa, Sandeep Marwa, who is the ambassador for 55 countries for media and trying to promote the idea of peace through media. Thank you again for joining us. Dr. Fajalla Azad, who organized creating 1 million humanitarian impressions with the different colleges, universities across India. Thank you again for that. Mrs. Meenakshi Surya Prakash, thank you for organizing fantastic events in Tamil Nadu in terms of making a difference with World Moral Day. Thank you again. Our friends Robin Marsh, who is our director of WHT, who is the head of the WHT steering board. Thank you again. So it's kind of a more of a vote of thanks message. However, I will come back to the norms, why we created this day. When we look at World Moral Day as a campaign, World Moral Day as a campaign was started by me to initiate a very important message. You know, when your parents say to you all, don't do this, don't do that. You know the moral behavior, where you stand, at which point you stand. Well, everybody has this gray line. So we want to put this gray line into the picture in the calendar. So I think humanity has made a biggest mistake of crossing this gray line when they had this First and Second World War. They passed this gray line and they created a terrible mistake. So we want to say to all the world, the people, the future, whoever is going to come, don't pass this gray line, because this is a gray line you should be behind. So that's why we say World Moral Day is a counter of our actions. What we are going to say, put a gray line over there, remembering what has happened in the past, and we are going to make the future better. So my dear children, you're all here. You've heard all these speeches. I'm sure these are 1 in a million speeches, which I guarantee you can never hear anytime soon or later in private. And this has been created to create an impression within you. And this impression is to support not this World Moral Day, to bring the moral behavior within you. So World Moral Day is a campaign to uplift your behavior, uplift your morality. And I'm pretty sure one day United Nations will declare this day. And when they declare this day, we all can celebrate it by visiting one of the orphanage schools, by visiting one of the cancer research institute, donations of blood, going to war memorials, celebrating people who have lost this. This is the symbolic tradition which we are trying to influence through World Moral Day. When you grow old, remember, you are a warrior for peace, because anybody who is a warrior of peace can be having the message of simplicity, humbleness, love, and affection, because wars are not won by swords, but by peace message. So thank you all once again for joining us. Please support this day, World Moral Day, which is on the 2nd of September. So every year I will be there with you all, as long as God has given me the eternity of presence. So thank you all for having this. And thank you, dear Carolyn Sarah Wilson, for making sure that everything works fine, and other respectable speakers who are going to join us later from college institutes, principals, and correspondents. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, for a very insightful message. I have a Moral Champion certificate, as you can see, so get yours online at moralday.com. It is such a great honor for us to have His Excellency Anthony Carmona, SCORTT, 5th President Trinidad and Tobago, to join our campaign for World Moral Day. A former High Court judge at the Supreme Court of Trinidad and Tobago, he became the President of Trinidad and Tobago from 2013 to 2018. So now let's hear the message of Mr. Anthony Carmona.
Thank you very much. Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, founder and chairman of the World Humanitarian Drive, WHD. Dr. Sandeep Marwa, chancellor of the AAFT University. Dr. Fajalla Azad, steering board member, World Moral Day. Padma Bhushan, Dr. Anil Kohli, Secretary General, WHD India. Students and teachers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and good afternoon to those in India. As patron of the World Humanitarian Drive, I wish to commend Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed for his campaign and evergreen advocacy to garner international support in having the United Nations declare the 2nd of September, the day that World War II ended, as World Moral Day. Such a declaration will bolster the efforts of the international community to engender morality, ethical values and conduct, integrity, accountability, and transparency in us all for a better and greater world. The World Humanitarian Drive seeks to achieve the transformational objectives of spreading integrity, development, and peace throughout the world, developing social responsibility in the 21st century, advocating the critical role of moral values to the development of the nation state and the importance of moral values in our individual and collective lives, protecting at all times fundamental human rights and values. The acceptance and actualization of morality in our daily lives are fundamental to building peaceful societies that ensure the recognition and proliferation of human rights for all, justice, inclusivity, equality, and compassion, with the core principle of no one being left behind. The inner voice of conscience is a bedrock that supports a person's sense of morality, ethics, and integrity. Perceptively, defending patent wrong seems to be in vogue because the status quo of wrongdoing benefits the few to the detriment of the many. The pursuit of the common good sometimes buckles in the face of executive misfeasance and institutional wrongdoing. We must therefore always muster the courage to defend and protect what is good and upstanding, whether it be in the safe and private confines of our homes, in the very midst of our domesticity, in our communities, and importantly, in the corridors of power. We live in a world where governance structures and constitutions, founded on exemplary moral principles and great philosophies, are plagued by corruption and a lack of transparency, accountability, and integrity. The moral fiber in modern day governance has been made threadbare by politicians who feel that they are owed more than they are paid, and feel somehow they have a right to tinker in the nation state's coffers. Sometimes Wrongdoing and ethical shortcuts are rationalized on the basis of pragmatism and expedition in the face of tangled bureaucracy. Moral governance must encompass oversight, checks and balances, and sometimes that very same cumbersome bureaucracy may well be protecting and shielding nation state and its institutions from immoral decadence. The world is in dire need of a value-based society grounded in morality and ethical conduct. Conscience is not the enemy within. Rather, it represents the moral authority and compass that resides in us all to do right to all manner of persons. In this regard, the strong has a moral responsibility to help and sustain the weak, the marginalized, the voiceless, and the underserved. Doing the right thing because it is the right thing to do has been a personal mantra that I have lived by and shared with thousands of children and adults nationally and internationally. This mantra is not subject to negotiation, barter, or has a price. Doing the right thing must be practiced and encouraged always, whether behind closed doors, in cloistered rooms, and even in the midst of private and confidential discussions and negotiation. This moral mandate of doing the right thing must neither be selective, occasional, or transient. Governance structures, institutions, and processes. There must be trust, built on a foundation of and perpetuated by strong moral leadership. And that trust inspires a foundation, and that trust inspires a nation. A lack of trust and morality undermines the very integrity of governance and leadership in the nation state. David Brooks, the New York Times columnist, encapsulates this morality crisis. And I quote, "Social trust is a measure of the moral quality of a society, of whether the people and institutions in it are trustworthy, whether they keep their promises and work for the common good. When people in a society lose faith and trust in their institutions and in each other, the nations collapse. Moral turpitude and transgression in governance undermine systemic, institutional, and constitutional trust in burgeoning democracies. Hence, there is a need to ensure and engender uncompromising morality and ethical conduct in good office. Every profession, without exception, has a specialized code of conduct outlined sometimes in legislation, standard operating procedures, or regulations. Every university degree has an ethical component each student is required to fulfill. We are taught principles of morality from childhood. What is remarkable is the willingness and ability of some to forego, unlearn, or simply disregard these moral principles when positions of power are assumed. We are very good at saying the right thing, but not doing the right thing. I can recall not too long ago the rally cry of a newly minted Mexican president, verbalizing the right sentiments and a roadmap to genuine moral governance. He stated matter-of-factly at a political rally, and I quote, "Don't lie, don't steal, don't betray the people," end of quote. A very strong and pointed admonition to achieve genuine moral governance. But regrettably, leaders around the world are very good at saying the right things and making promises, but not doing the right things when in the corridors of power. There must be an enabling environment that facilitates and nurtures goodness, emotional intelligence, fairness, and equality treatment in all governance models. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, has its efficacy, but it also has its drawbacks and limitations. Doing good to others should not be based on reciprocity, that you do good so that good will come your way. Morality and ethics do not work that way. Doing good and being good should not be based on conditions and conditionalities. As a moral code, I have advocated the platinum rule. Do good and be good. If good comes your way, fine. If not, it matters not. for doing good has never been based on contingencies and what awaits you favorably in the future. It is all about making an affirmative difference in the individual and collective lives of the citizenry. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to create holistic environments to nurture such fundamentals. Two critical environments are the home and the classroom, and the home has a pivotal supporting role in that regard. Globally, we must develop and create a culture of integrity and morality in the classroom that goes beyond the classroom. Creating a culture of morals, ethics, and integrity in the classroom is the panacea and antidote for corrupt, uncaring, and unfair governance. The student of today is the politician of tomorrow, and we must build the moral capacity, the moral resilience and competence of the man-child and the woman-girl in every classroom of the world. There is a moral dimension to climate change that needs to be recognized and emphasized. Goal 13 of the UN SDGs climate action is commensurate with an enduring legacy of morality, peace, responsible action, and consumption. On Monday, the 23rd of September, 2019, at the Climate Change Summit in New York, Secretary General Antonio Guterres, simply fed up with the talk and no action, admonished all by stating, and I quote, "The ticket to enter the Climate Change Summit was not a beautiful speech, but a concrete plan of action," end of quote. We can expect nice, beautiful speeches at COP26, the United Nations Conference on Climate Change in Glasgow, on the 31st of October to the 12th of November 2021. The dialogue taking place must not suffer from an implementation deficit and must be guided by moral principles and standards with the deepest of appreciation for our intra and intergenerational responsibility as it relates to the climate emergency. COP26 will bring parties together to accelerate action towards the goals of the Paris Agreement and the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. We, ladies and gentlemen, have a moral responsibility, each of us, to protect Mother Earth for successive generations. We cannot and must not deny our moral and spiritual responsibility to safeguard the very territorial integrity of small island development states, SIDS. And we all know what needs to be done with regard to ensuring zero carbon emissions, and call to account we must those nation states that engage in patronizing non-realistic timelines for zero carbon emission in this era of climate emergency. Finally, I wish to congratulate the million-plus students who participated in the World Morality Day competitions and initiatives. Your work and involvement have contributed to the advocacy efforts of the World Humanitarian Drive as we seek to have September the 2nd declare World Moral Day. We are depending on you, young people, to ameliorate and change the status quo with the salutary objective of inculcating values of morality and ethical conduct into governance and the institutions of the nation state. I thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency Anthony Carmona, SCORTT, the 5th President of Trinidad and Tobago, for that very moving message. We will be people of action. And for this portion, we would like to thank students for their participation as we proceed with student interaction. Children are the future of this world. If we want to have a more moral society, we have to involve children in what we do. We have children participating in our Embracing Moral Day event. So let's start with some questions from students. First question is from Rayiza Rifana. Rayiza, what is your question?
His Excellency, most valued guests, and my fellow participants, good evening, everyone. It's my immense pleasure to represent my college and be a part of this forum. My question to you, Mr. President, is how do moral classes and value education at school shape a student's life?
But I can assure you that one important feature of the child in the classroom is integrity. In other words, in fact, there should be no cheating, there should be no fudging, there should in fact be frank and honest discussions in the context of what you know and what you do not know. But more importantly, I think children, for example, begin with a clean slate, and they do have the capacity to be in fact child advocates in advocating the positives that are required in our society at large. Because the bottom line is that we adults have failed you children miserably in more ways than one. When you look at, in fact, the stewardship of governance, we see, in fact, corruption. We see dishonesty. We see, in fact, gamesmanship. We see pussyfooting. We see, in fact, footworks. And this is where, for example, as a child, as the brilliant child that you are with all your colleagues, I want you all to know that you can make an affirmative difference by standing your ground. It begins in your home. It begins with, in fact, you telling daddy, you cannot abuse mommy, verbally or physically. It begins with, in fact, indicating to your mothers and fathers and your uncles that there will be no child marriage in my life. Because, in fact, a child has, in fact, the capacity for fulfillment in the same way as an adult. It is, in fact, in the daily, everyday things of interaction that you as a child, that you as a young adult can make a difference. And do not wait until you enter the corridors of power to make that change. You can be the voice of correction. You can be the voice of morality in the face of patent wrongs. I know sometimes it is difficult. I know sometimes, for example, you would be isolated. But isn't that, at the end of the day, what really matters? That when you go home at night, you can sleep easy with your conscience for doing the right thing. Thank you very much.
The youth, they're so lucky to learn so much from His Excellency Anthony Carmona. So our next student who's going to ask a question is Fatima Shafia of Pearl Matriculation Secondary School. What is your question?
His Highness, esteemed chairs, and fellow students. Good morning and good evening to the different parts of the world. To Mr. President, my question is, how far is the tolerance by the older society towards the learning and erring younghood, and to stop further crimes by the ways of affection, reformation, and acceptance? Thank you, sir.
I didn't hear you clearly. Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. So, Mr. President, my question for you is, how far is the tolerance by the older society towards the learning and erring younghoods, and to stop further crimes by the ways of affection, reformation, and acceptance?
Well, the bottom line is that, in fact, as adults, we do have responsibilities to our young people to engage in progressive guidance. I think, in fact, we live in an era where sometimes we are burdened by influence and sometimes by bad influence. When you look at in terms of the impact of social media in the conduct of the affairs of men and women, sometimes you wonder if it is a veritable minefield and whether it is performing its function as a communicative device, as one that disseminates information, that one that assists the nations of the world to come closer, as opposed to, in fact, being desperate and being divisive. So your point is well taken, and endemic to that, you have actually answered the question that you have asked, in the context of the role of the adult population in the context of making this world a better and greater place.
Thank you, His Excellency. Our next young person who is going to ask a question is R. Lukshan of Kanchi Sri Sankara Academy. What is your question?
Good day to all and special greeting to Honorable President. I am Lakshant and my question is, how have gadgets and technology taken away human emotions?
Yes, could you repeat, please? I'm having difficulty in hearing you. Yes.
And my question is, how have gadgets and technology have taken human emotions?
Okay. All right, you are dealing with something that is very important in the context of the role of science in human development. I think, for example, in the context of economics, of course, robotic inventions have created greater levels of efficiency in the production line. It has also resulted in loss of jobs. It has impacted on the employability of persons far and wide, and the need for our educational system to be recalibrated to fit the needs of an ever-changing society. But at the end of the day, in fact, I would hope, for example, that in the context of technology, that we do not, in fact, lose our sense of humanity to each other. Because this is indeed a very risk, because with for example, the COVID-19 pandemic, where in fact we are using technology in terms of virtual classrooms, in terms of conferences, where people are no longer meeting people physically, that type of physical bonding that is so important, where children are no longer playing with each other, where children are in fact seeing their colleagues on a screen, and where in fact that kind of tactile interrelationship is lost. I think in that regard, technology is working against our sense of humanity if we do not create enabling environments for us to meet and greet physically. So your question is a very solid question. And I'm so happy that it comes from a young man like yourself, because we live in a world also where, in fact, there appears to be a growing domination of women intellect, and our young boys are not, in fact, keeping pace. So I'm happy to see that you have kept pace with your girl colleagues in terms of the depth and breadth of the question that you ask. And I'm really heartened by seeing you young women and a young man here, asking questions of depth and outreach, and more importantly, vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I get a clear thought about it. Very much. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you. Our next student to ask a question is Sueka Manimaran of St. Philomena Convent, Malaysia. What is your question?
Good day, Honorable President. Good day, everyone. Today, my question is, what is the easiest way to instill humanity values at home?
What is the easiest way to instill humanity? Pardon?
What is the easiest way to instill humanity values at home?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that is a very, I have to say welcome to Malaysia, because it's really a pleasant surprise to hear someone from Malaysia asking a question of that nature, And,
thank you, sir.
And I am a firm believer in the power of love. I am a firm believer in empowering families with great values. I am a firm believer in ensuring that parents, in fact, are the first mentors of a child. Because time and time again, I've noticed over the years that we tend to sometimes blame schools when there is, in fact, misbehavior or juvenile delinquency in the schools. But I always tell persons, in fact, that parents must never abdicate their responsibility in preaching humane and human values to their child in terms of kindness, in terms of compassion, in terms about caring for others, in terms of appreciation what they have, and more importantly, in terms of sharing sharing what they have, no matter how little. So I feel, for example, in the circumstances that, manners make it the man. And manners, in fact, are not only about shaking hands or saying good morning, but also in terms of how you treat each other, how, in fact, compassionate you are to the less endowed. And this is where, in fact, it is important that parents support the teachers in the schools, because many times I have found over the years that, for example, teachers teach the right thing. And when they go home, because home is a dysfunctional place, what is taught in school is dismantled. So I feel there has to be a symbiotic relationship between what is learned at home, and what is in fact learned at school. That the two forces of correction, the two guardians of the child, must work together in unison to produce an outstanding global villager, someone who will make a difference not only in her community or in her country, but in the world at large. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency. Our next student to ask a question is Priyadarsini M. from Thiagarajar College of Preceptors, Madurai. What is your question?
Yeah, thank you, Vibha. Good evening, dignitaries. Good evening and good morning, Mr. Honorable President. Feeling very proud at this juncture and dedicating my thanks to all the members who gave me this chance. So my question for His Excellency is, if rules and principles can discipline a person, if rules and principles can discipline a person and defend moral values, then what can be the mode to adopt it in this present society? Ahimsa or corporal punishment? So this is what my question is.
Could you repeat it, because of course of the distance I'm not hearing you clearly. Could you repeat your question?
Sure, sir. If rules and principles can discipline a person and defend moral values, then what can be the mode to adopt it in this present society? Ahimsa or corporal punishments? This is my question, sir.
Okay. Well, I think I should indicate to you immediately that I do not believe in corporal punishment. That it represents, in fact, a bygone age. And I feel, for example, that time and time again, parents and teachers need to speak to students and their siblings and their sons and daughters in a way that allows for discussion. Because sometimes what I have found over the years is that in the context of rules and regulations, they are often imposed upon the child without the child having a voice. To give an example what I'm talking about, I remember as a child in secondary school or even primary school, that there would be persons in that classroom who would always be challenging the teacher in terms of what the teacher is saying or what the teacher is teaching. And very often that child was disciplined. That child was in fact given corporal punishment. And because that child was considered rude. And it's only years after when I considered and I looked back and I reflected and I genuflected on my childhood. I realized that in my class, that particular child was the only critical thinker in the class. And that is why, in fact, sometimes rules and regulations do not recognize the critical thinker in the class. We think, for example, that discipline means staying quiet, shaking your head, saying nothing, and almost in massa type style, simply adhering to commands like a puppy. Well, the world has changed. We are now living in an era of enlightenment. And I think in that regard, you know, as a young adult, as a young woman, there is in fact one particular difficulty that this age of enlightenment provides. And that is in fact misinformation. I always tell persons in my time, when, for example, you know, I had to do research, I would have to go to the library. And I would be told that there is a particular book that I have to read and a particular chapter. And when I go into that library and take out the book and I look for chapter 12 is missing. It was ripped off from the book. Unlike now, where in fact, you know, you have thousands of articles on one topic, nobody can rip off the chapter from your book because it's there forever in cyberspace. And the difficulty that, of course, we all have in the context of rules and regulations is this specter of misinformation, and that remains the difficulty of the average child in the classroom. So, as I said before, in fact, you know, we have reached a point in life where corporal punishment is a non sequitur. It is no longer applicable in a society where, you know, people are no longer illiterate. They are no longer suffering from the vagaries of illiteracy, and they can be reasoned into submitting to rules and regulations, you know. So it is indeed, in fact, heartening that you're looking at ways and means of creating a more proactive and a more progressive student away from the vagaries of corporal punishment, and more in keeping with the Gandhian approach that through peace, much can be achieved. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. As a student teacher, I'm almost clarified on how to deal with a student in a classroom. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Wishing you a very pleasant day ahead. Wishing you a very pleasant day ahead. Thank you, sir.
You too also. Thank you very much.
That was a very insightful and inspiring portion. Thank you, students, for your questions, and His Excellency Anthony Carmona for answering the questions of students remarkably well. So our next portion, we will be treated to poetry by our student participants. Our first poet is Lubna Rafi of Justice Bashir Ahmed Saeed College for Women.
His Excellency, Mr. President, Chief Guest of the Day, and all the members of WHT, my greetings to you all. It is said that poetry is the best way to convey one's emotions. So here I am, Lubna Rafi, honored to recite my poem on the title, Being Human, a Social Need. Being human is to have sense of reason, to love, care, and also to be fair. Being human is not the change of season. Their beliefs and moral care does not go anywhere. To be human is to go through different experiences, to live and eventually die. Life is not just filled with seriousness, helping and giving wings to people so they can also fly. To be human is to understand each other, to be flawed and know how it's like to be flawed. It is to shape our environment and living together while you see your people applaud. To be human is to have a soul, being made in the image of God, with empathy playing noteworthy role to serve with sympathy to people who plot. To hold hopes and dreams for the future and also to be
I think we lost Lubna. Rafi, thank you for that wonderful poem about being human. Lubna Rafi of Justice Bashir Ahmed, Saeed College for Women. Our next poet is Aiswarya Lakshmi of Government College, Jehania Firdaus.
Greetings, His Excellency. I am Aishwarya Lakshmi. On this momentous occasion, I would like to take this opportunity to present my poem, A Shattered Blanket of Morality. Another Westminster Abbey, another crematorium ground, a microcosm of human experience it is. The old watchman iterates, where is peace, where is love and harmony? There surrounded some hearts, some with smoldering rage, some with indignation, helplessness, some hearts torn apart, and some happy with the death of their rivals. There the watchman saw a vengeful woman with fire in her eyes, watching over her daughter being consumed by the holy fire who was waved by the evil dotbusters. On the other side was the burning fire of a refugee, an innocent creature killed in the bonfire of boundaries. Beside the fire, some cried, "Oh Lord, why didn't you save him from the inhumane humans?" The old watchman walked again and heard, "Mommy, Daddy, don't leave us alone." Two kids were pouring out their hearts who only understood that it was the landlord who killed their parents. Again he walked from there and saw an isolated, unwanted burning fire. Being an experienced spectator, he guesses it to be either an orphan or an abandoned aged human. There he rems in the death of a thief who stole a piece of bread, beaten to death for trying to quench the thirst of his hunger. Instead of expecting a prophet to save people from the growing, fully fledged humanitarian crisis, he prays for the world leaders to visit a graveyard or a crematorium ground to know the grassroots level of reality, where the misuse of laws, religious riots, and the hatred spread would open their eyes to help the world cure with the pillars of morality, which would restore and make the world a better place to live in. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that well-written poem. So now we proceed with the next poet. Our next poet is Jehania Firdaus of Justice Bashir Ahmed, Saeed College for Women. Is Jehania here? I guess we'll just return to Jehania. Now, could we proceed with the next poet, Mariam? Mariam, is Mariam here? Okay. Jehania Firdaus. Okay, Jehania Firdaus isn't here, so now we proceed with the next portion, which is the poster display. So we're seeing the talent of students right now for poetry display.
Beautiful.
We have
Beautiful.
Santa Namari, you.
Beautiful.
They're really beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Very
We
beautiful.
have Sharmila S. Next, we have Satyakala T.
Beautiful.
And our next artist is Riswana Dilna.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
And we have Mariam.
Beautiful. Yeah.
We have really talented students.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, very. Yeah.
We are so lucky. And then now we would like to go to we would award the winners. We're going to be awarding the winners because contests are a good way to develop skills, talents of students. So we're announcing these are the different winners. So congratulations. Thank you for taking part. And as what Dr. Fajalla Azad said, competition is to steer people to do better. And then according to Dr. Sandeep Marwa, by joining contests, we raise our level of intelligence. So let's keep on participating, because in participating, we also develop our skills and talents and become better people out of it as well. So congratulations to all the winners. And thank you for all those who joined as well, because in joining contests, the objective isn't about just winning. It's actually just pushing yourself to create something, to be the best that you can be. It's not about winning, it's about discovering the best about your abilities and talents. So congratulations. We have so many winners, and we also have so many people, so many students who joined. We have millions of students who also joined this contest. And so it was also quite difficult to choose the winners, I'm sure. So there were so many different kinds of contests: elocution, slogan writing, poster making. There's just so many winners.
Excellent.
And so congratulations to all those who joined the contest and those who won as well. And then now we would like to proceed with elocution. We have elocution from Kirthiga.
Good morning, everyone. I am Kirtika. I am doing my higher secondary studies in Nagur Crescent Matriculation Higher Secondary School. Okay, today I am going to deliver a speech on the topic being responsible. Okay, now, what is the purpose of responsibility and what makes people responsible? Responsibility is accepting that you are cause and solution of the matter. When you do what you have promised, people see you as a responsible and reliable person. Responsible person is one who can trust it without needing any strict supervision because they are accountable of their own behavior. Dear audience, Please note that responsibility of an individual may change from time and situations. Usually, and quantum of responsibility increase with age. We don't need to look at responsibility at higher levels. Responsibility just starts from our own matters. For example, personal hygiene, obeying elders, respecting others, being a responsible citizen also makes us a responsible person. Okay, now many of you have a doubt. What will happen if we do not fulfill those responsibilities? Will there be any penalty for not doing so? Dear friends, in that case, we lost our purpose of living and our life is without any challenges and goals. So, also, responsibility builds your self-esteem and self-worth. Self-responsibility builds your confidence level. Okay, now, how a student should be responsible? Student should be responsible with his academics and co-curricular activities to help his parents in home and set an example for his younger generations, such as his own younger sibling or juniors at school. And he should be responsible towards a society and nation. So far, we have discussed about the gain of responsibility. So now many people have a doubt arise on their mind how to be a responsible person. Well, it's not a rocket science. Just build your own guidelines in every actions you do. Such as, if you have agreed something, just do it. Don't place the blame on others. Be upfront and admit when you made a mistake. I believe you can be a responsible person. Just be cool and smile others and make smile others with your activities. Finally, I'm like to ending my speech by thanking you all. The moment you take responsibility in your life is the moment you can change anything in your life. I support World Moral Day.
Excellent, 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 excellent.
Thank you,
so much,
Christina.
sir.
Thank you. And for our next elocution piece, we have Shruti Anand.
Start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. My name is Shruti Anand. I'm from Nirmala College for Women. I'm here to talk on morality and social responsibility. Morality and social responsibility, both are different words which obviously have different meanings, right? So we may think how both the words are interlinked. To know about that, let's know about morality and social responsibility separately. So when it comes to morality is a wrong belief of what is a right behavior and what is a wrong behavior. There are many people in the society, right? So everybody has different beliefs. So right behavior and wrong behavior will be different according to each person's perspective. And it's all about how you treat people. An example of morality is there's somebody who strongly believes that it is totally wrong to not take something which doesn't belong to them even when people are watching. This is morality. When it comes to social responsibility means that every individual in the society has a certain duty, and to perform that duty they have to decide and accept ethically and then proceed. Ethics is nothing but moral values, that is morality. And in this environment, in the society, there are so many people, and how you communicate with them, how you gel with them, how you interact with them, and how you treat them shows your morality towards them. So this is how morality and social responsibility are interlinked. It's nothing but treat everyone in the right way, in a good way. And when a person starts developing the moral values, the society will be more healthy. Have courage and be kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Shruti Anand. Our next elocution piece is by Bashir Haja.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Myself Mubashira Haja from Nagar Crescent Matriculation Higher Secondary School for Girls of Grade 12. Today, I have taken a responsibility to clear you about what is responsibility. Imagine what if your mother is not cooking you daily? What if your father is not earning or paying your school fees? What if the teacher is not teaching you? What if the milkman is not providing you milk? What if the newspaper man is not giving you newspaper daily? Most importantly, what if the laborer is not cleaning or maintaining the garbage or drainage? Just imagine what would the world look like if everyone is choose to act irresponsibly. The world will be completely upside down, right? Okay, well, first of all, what is responsibility? Being responsible means doing the things that you are expected to do and also accepting the consequences of your actions, that what you say and do. Being responsible also means keeping promises, honoring commitments, etc. Now, why being responsible is important? Because responsibility is a key to a successful life. Only a responsible man can lead a successful and wonderful life. Being responsible is a sign of a good character. It is a trait of a leadership, good leadership. People who are responsible take charges of their own lives. They make their own plans, their own decisions. They solve their own problems. They have confident mindset. People who are responsible set their goals for nurturing their talents and skills. People who are responsible are resilient in finding ways to overcome adversity. Responsibility is really a challenging ability. If you really want to live a successful life, you must have to give up blaming and complaining others each and every time. And you must have to take total responsibility of your life. That means the results of your actions, even though that is good, bad, right, wrong, success or even failure. This is what responsibility is. You must come forward. You should come forward to do things nobody is going to do for you. So let's be responsible. Let's take 8 steps to be responsible. Remember, in the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will question each and everybody about their personal responsibility that they had in their world. And a person will never pass away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until he is answered about his responsibility. So, each and every day, let's take a solid step to be responsible. By being responsible, you can accomplish your dreams by developing a hunger. Only by taking your own responsibility of your own life. Your mistakes will be washable. Your problems will be solvable. Simply everything will be possible if you're responsible. Think twice and act wise. Be the change that you want to see. Jazakallah khairan kathiran. Here I wish to end my heartfelt gratitude for the given opportunity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And one more thing, from today, I'm going to be responsible. What about you?
Excellent, 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 excellent.
His Excellency really enjoyed that. So our students...
Yeah, this is excellent. Yeah, excellent, excellent.
Thank you. We're so glad you enjoyed it because we enjoyed it as well. So our student participants are just so talented. So thank you to all the students who share their talents with us. So we thank our academic partners for joining us today. We would like to hear from them about our Embracing Moral Day event. So now we proceed with felicitations and teachers' testimony. So we would like to start with Dr. K. Raja Fatima, Principal of Anai Hajira Women's College. Please unmute. Thank you.
His Excellency the President. Good morning, and to all the members in the forum, a very good evening. I'm very proud to say that we had a lot of participants who participated, and they have won lots of prizes also. And to talk about this Memorial Day, being conscious of the need of a value-based education at a time when fundamental values are steadily being eroded, great care should be taken to instill moral and ethical values in our students. Because morality helps the mind for equality by respecting all the human beings and our surroundings. So because the moral values help in decision making, it can give a proper direction to our life. It helps building the character for oneself and building a society and ultimately building the economy. So I would also like to congratulate Dr. Fajalla Azad, the International Life Coach Mentor, and all the members on this forum for driving this Himalayan task of taking the Moral Day to be celebrated on September 2nd. I do join with you. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Dr. K. Raja Fatima. And now we proceed with Selva Vaishnavi, Senior Principal of Kanchi Sri Sankara Academy, MHSS. Thank you.
Mr. President and delegates, greetings from southern part of Tamil Nadu. Thank you so much for a great opportunity. Organizers of this great event should know what it has done to me. Actually, your intervention through this theme of Moral Day has made me to revisit my priority agenda, my priority list in my academic calendar. Thank you so much. And actually, this initiation is giving me a lot of hope that things will change for good. And Mr. President, so happy, so inspiring listening to you. I love the way you are responding to our children, our kids. I have a small appeal to you. In one of your speeches, you are referring to a situation seeking apologies to young accused prisoners. Can I request you to share it again, because that speaks volumes about how compassionate, how caring a leader should be. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Selva Vaishnavi. Our next to give the teacher's testimony is Dr. C. Saidalavi, Principal of KAHM Unity Women's College, Manjeri, Kerala.
Thank you. Good morning, the sunrise, and good afternoon for the sunset. His Excellency, the President, Anthony Karnona, respected founder and chairman of the PhD and other dignitaries. It has been a great privilege for us to be a part of the World Moral Day campaign that emphasizes morality, the heart of humanity that sustains life on earth. As an organizing partner of World Humanitarian Drive, embracing the World Moral Day, we conducted 5 state-level competitions for the students of various schools and colleges in Kerala. Our sincere appreciation to Dr. Fajalla Azad, the Global Ambassador of World Humanitarian Drive, for her efforts and support rendered in the conduct of these competitions and for sponsoring attractive prizes for the winners. The prizes were sent to our doorsteps for distribution, which was a Herculean task. I am sure these winners will boost the students, both in their personal life and career. I also thank Dr. Sudekha Shakil for coordinating with us throughout the program. We are planning for an exclusive event in moral education for our students in our institute as the winners of Kerala to distribute prizes World Moral Day. Finally, I thank the chairman and the organizing team of World Humanitarian Day for giving us a marvelous opportunity and expect such collaboration in future. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for that. Our next teacher's testimony is from Aisha, Mohad, Rafi, principal of MAM Al-Kalam School, Kodaikanal. Please unmute. Thank you. Sorry, you're on mute.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm very happy to be a part of in this function. Actually, I am the student of Tasim Bibi, who is also the organizer of WHD is also the student of Tasim Bibi. I'm very happy that she organized such a great program, and she called all the chief guests and organized such a great program. And I am very happy to see my staff as well, Rajab Fatima. I'm happy to hear everything and the speech of our president, fifth president of Trinidad Tobago country. Very happy to know everything and the students' participation, their involvement in their responsibility, how to be responsible, their speech, everything gave a great inspiration that we didn't lose anything of this morality and social responsibility. Still, it will be there till the judgment day, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Thank you so much for all of the delegates. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you, Hera. Maryam. Our next to give the teacher's testimony is Dr. S. Jamila, Professor of Justice, Bashir Ahmed Saeed College for Women, Chennai.
Good morning and good evening to all. His Excellency, the President, dignitaries, delegates, and organizers of this great event. I'm pleased to convey that the Justice Bashir Ahmed Saeed College for Women at Chennai has great pride in associating with World Humanitarian Drive. This is really a great opportunity and initiative to imbibe moral values in young generation. My special thanks to Dr. Fajalla Azad, a great ambassador, not only to World Humanitarian Drive, but to humanity as a whole. On behalf of my college, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to World Humanitarian Drive founder for his great initiative. I support and stand for World Moral Day initiatives, and I'm really happy to see our students as well. His Excellency, I'm really inspired by the way you interact with our students. And from your speech, I just took one sentence, like, we, the teachers, have to create responsible global villagers. It was really inspiring. And the words like morality crisis, the need to create holistic environment, and we have to make the world a better place to live in. All these are examples, not only for students, it's also an example, and these words have to be followed by we teachers also. I've learned a lot from you, His Excellency, President Sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity on behalf of my college. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Our next to give the teacher's testimony is Dr. Molly Abraham, Principal of St. Bede's College, Shimla.
Your Excellency, President, all the other dignitaries, students, and my dear colleagues. I'm so happy to be present here as part of this great program. I'm sorry, my camera is not working. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'm so grateful to you that you have given us, our college, this opportunity to be an organizing partner in Himachal Pradesh for conducting various events on the eve of World Morality Day on September 2 every year. Many college students from all over the world, all over Himachal Pradesh, took part in various events organized on the theme Why Morality Matters and won various prizes. Now, if I speak about morality and moral values, today it is very much needed more than any time in the past. We are living in a situation where the present pandemic is made all of us, the human beings all over the world, I would say in a way of depressed. We have no social life. The students, the young people, the older generation, the youth, everybody is looking for certain relief measures in their own life and the life of others. So morality and moral values is very much important today. As our Excellency spoke, it is very much needed in us teachers, and we need to impart that to the students and to the society. That is our greater responsibility. So I appreciate all the efforts that is done by the WHD to improve the moral values of the students, the teachers, the society, and everybody all over the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Molly Abraham. And now we proceed to give the teacher's testimony with Dr. S. Sumaya, Principal of Thasim Bibi Abdul Kader College for Women. Please unmute yourself. Okay, and now we proceed with M. Rafia, Professor of Pearl Matriculation Higher Secondary School. Okay, we proceed now with Dr. K.V. Manimegalai, Senior Principal of Madurai Crescent Girls School, Madurai. Please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Good morning to His Excellency, President and Founder, and other team members of WHD, and other dignitaries, delegates. Good evening and good morning to all. Now, in this techno world, requires many significant contributions from different fields as well as different areas. But the most important is to, out of this technology, we need to incorporate morals and values in them. So WHT understood these social problems and designed its event to create awareness among young minds. Very thankful to you all organizing these competitions. I am also very happy to be part of it, conducting these competitions in Madurai district. I was very happy when I was conducting during lockdown period, because that young mind needs this type of healthy atmosphere and then healthy points to be in their brain and that time. So that is, it is remind the people the significance of truth, humanity, and loyalty, generosity, integrity, all the things that be designed in this competition. Through this competition, we have, I think, incorporate with all the things, and we motivate the children to participate in this competition. And it's my pride and privilege to be one of the felicitator of Dr. Fajalla, who was one of our old student. So we are very happy to have she has striving for this vision of WHT, and Zulaiha, she is also one of our, Dr. Zulaiha, one of our old student. I'm very happy to, my two students are doing this humanitarian drive to our young minds. Thank you very much. And then all the team members also, and then we from the south, deep south, from Madurai, we are looking forward good things to be happen in this future generation. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have a message from Dr. Sumaya, the principal of Tasim Bibi Abdul Kader College for Women. Message is, good evening, one and all, and thank you to organizers, and special thanks to Dr. Fajalla Azad, her outstanding alumna, who has become a torchbearer to light other candles to make the world bright with moral values. This platform is a message to humanity to establish the lost moral values in all walks of life. Rebuild your inner strength with self-consciousness and accountability in our attitude, thoughts, and actions towards our brotherhood. My dear young minds, infuse yourself to get rid of hatredness, jealousy, anger, greediness, cheating others, possessiveness, speaking ill of others, backbiting others in their absence, all lead to damage. The personality of young minds who are the future treasures of this universe to live in peace and harmony. The Almighty's blessing is to be bestowed on humanity to guide them in the right path. Long live your mission to transform the world. From Dr. Sumaya. And so our last teacher's testimony is from Muhammad Abbas, the Managing Trustee, Center for Rural Empowerment and Action and Transit Educational Research.
Good evening, His Excellency, the President, and all the intellectuals and little star of our students in this platform. It's my pleasure to share my experience on the noble initiative of Dr. Abdul Basit, founder chairman of World Humanitarian Drive. Really, it is a very great event, and he's rethinking of re-engineering of happiness. It's very valid to the nowadays. It's very essential to the community. Really, we would like to thank Dr. Fajalla Azad, international life coach and the global ambassador of World Humanitarian Drive. She is being a great mentor and a true inspiration to our team. She has given an opportunity to work the World Humanitarian Drive for the World Moral Day campaign. We are so delighted to take this opportunity to promote social values with various activities in the theme of moral development, as to educate the current and future generation about the vital role played by morality on every individual life. Through this campaign, we insisted how morality plays the vital role in individual life, family, and all the people around the world in the theme of moral development. So it was a very great experience, and we reached around 1,700 schools and 400 colleges and 135 universities and 28 NGOs across India. and more than 3,000 students, they are participated in our competitions, as well as we received around 243 content of drawing, speech, and essays, what you see in some of our students' performance here, as well as it's very creative, and we communicated the moral values which given by the World Humanitarian Drive. However, that how the moral values help in the decision making, and how it's direct our life, how build our characters. These things we convey to our school students, as well as our network in the NGOs and all over the institutions. So together as a team, we achieved the campaign's objective, and we had a great lesson learned from the community, from the students, to promote the social values and moral values, which will be applied really to our organizational strategy also. And once again, our sincere thanks to the founder chairman of World Humanitarian Drive, and Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, and its global ambassador, Dr. Fajalla Azad. Thank you very much.
Hi, Viva.
Hi.
I would like to say thanks to our Excellency. Can I proceed?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Thank you, Dr. Fajalla.
President, Excellency, I would like to thank you really. It's really my day come true today. I have seen a few of your speeches. I felt that you are the right model and you are the right person to head this show. And every student has to see you and they will take you as a role model. So I was wishing this function should be headed by you, and it's made possible today. Really, my thanks to you. So I would like, thank you. So I would like to thank every partner not for organizing, and to every student, not for participating, but you have taken the steps to change the world a better place to live. Surely you will feel every speaker here, Dr. Marwa, Dr. and President Dr. Basit, and everyone who spoke here, and even your principals who are the role models, everyone, you can take them as they are the guidance to you. Thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fajalla Azad. We're indeed very thankful to our academic partners for giving their felicitations and teachers' testimony. We would also like to thank Dr. Zulaiha Shakil, because she has been such a huge boon in handling everything smoothly. And now we proceed with a poem from Hania Fridays. A poem from Hania Fridays. Okay, so...
Yeah. Can you see me? Ma'am, can you see me?
Yes, can see
yes,
you.
Thank you. I would like to greet everyone and thank you to give me the opportunity to present my poem. So here, let me start with my poem. Let me embrace you being human before we part. Sun will soon dawn, humanity will be a new start. For this night might be the last, and again we might cross through moral paths. We are stars destined to collide, and when we do, humanity will light up the night. But for now, you are on your own. Maybe it is your destiny to emphasize humanity alone. Far in the woods, a light burns every night. Never dared to confront it, but now I might. It might burn me to ashes, and all this will be in vain. Or I, as an enlightened human being, will return home again. 1,000,000 singing birds and 1,000 combusting suns, humanity will come again as it happened once. And it will happen again when we unite, because your voice is the music to dumb ears, and tranquil is what we cite. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Yeah.
Thank you, Hania Fridays, for that lovely poem. Now we proceed with vote of thanks. Mr. Robin Marsh is the Secretary General of Universal Peace Federation UK, a global network of peace builders. Mr. Robin Marsh stands for peace, development, and faith. He believes in one family of humanity under a loving God, interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal values, family and human rights. World Humanitarian Drive is a partner of Universal Peace Federation. And Mr. Robin Marsh is also the director of WHD. Now let's all call Mr. Robin Marsh to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, everyone, for such an enlightening program. And I want to start off by giving thanks to the organization that preceded this, all the collection and the promotion of the competitions, of the involvement of many students who may not have won, but have gained a lot by participating, and the teachers who guided them and supported them. And we heard today also learned from their students in many cases. This is a healthy process of moral reflection. Thank you also to Sarah Wilson and her team, who kept everything flowing seamlessly because there are so many different aspects. And the MC, Mrs. Viva and Trata O'Flynn, who kept everything very pleasantly flowing in the right way, which is always a difficult job with many difficult in India. He gave a very good welcome address and who praised the campaign amidst a hectic lifestyle of many. Having a campaign for a World Moral Day really encourages us to reflect and reminds us to reflect amidst that hectic lifestyle that we all have. And want to thank also Dr. Fajalla Azad, who we heard from just a moment ago as well, who's the global ambassador of WHD and who promoted the campaign as a dream for one of the inspirations of global peace, but also encourage us to have reflection on our motivation, to guide our motivation in our aspiration to be a doctor and aspiration to take a role of prominence in society, to reflect on what is our motivation for that, and to use that aspiration, to use the achievement of that aspiration, to use it for the whole, for the public, for the poor, for those who are maybe not as capable as us, but to serve them and to use it as a means of service to make the world, changing the world in the way that we change ourselves first and be an agent of that change. So I really appreciated her speech today. I also wanted to appreciate Dr. Sandeep Marwa, the Chancellor of AAFT University, who is an influential international media figure who used the mnemonic education to guide us on how we could give moral guidance and not spoil our children and the students who are under our responsibility for moral guidance. Through that mnemonic, he was guiding us to have 360-degree moral guidance and for development of our individuals, or of our individual students. And he gave a very good understanding of how we should guide our students. I also want to thank Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, the founder and chairman of WHD, who very much I work together with. And he has really got a passion to make a difference. And I really want to thank him for expressing that passion in many different ways, including the World Moral Day. And he emphasized to us that we learn from the gray lines that are the moral standards which maybe in history have been failed, with tragic consequences, that we learn from those failures to make an improvement for the future. So human standards will be improved in future, and through that we will live more peacefully. We will live in a much better way together, more peacefully, and allow human development. And he looks forward to the day in which the value of this moral World Moral Day will be embraced by the United Nations. I want to thank very much the patron of WHD, the President, His Excellency Anthony Carmona. He's an inspiration to WHD, and when I heard the poetry today, I remembered his passion for poetry and his appreciation of poetry. And Poetry Day, I think it was 1.5 years ago. He gave some nuggets of wisdom himself. I really love the platinum rule. The first time I heard of the platinum rule, everyone's heard of the golden rule, but the platinum rule, to do good and to be good, irregardless of the outcome for ourselves, which is wonderful. The step up from the golden rule. But, also his moral dimension to climate change, which is very current, and a few hundred miles north of where I live, and I hope to attend part of the fringe. But COP26 must be guided by moral standards if it's to be successful. We have to protect Mother Earth, and the participants and those representatives of nations who are participating, they need this moral guidance. And then his lovely way of interrelating with the students was wonderful to see, and the appreciation of all the students for their passion, for their wisdom, their vision, and his appreciation of that vision was really very wonderful to see. Thank you for all those who offered poetry. It was lovely to see poetry, and I love that expression. The poetry is the best way to transmit emotion. Also want to thank all those who offered artwork. It was lovely to see the posters and to see them one after the other, and the way they could express their emotion, but also their appreciation of moral guidance and morality in our world through art. That was lovely to see. Congratulations to both the winners, but also to those who articulated their talent for art just by participating. It was, again, wonderful to see. And the excellent speeches or elocution, I really appreciated, on being responsible, on morality and social responsibility, on what is responsibility. Each of them had nuggets of wisdom that we could all gain so much from such young minds, but we could all learn from. And I love to hear from the teachers, and it was lovely to see the interrelationship between the teachers and their students, how much the teachers were inspired by the participation of their students. Thank you to all of them. Thank you so much for this whole program, and I hand it over now back to Viva Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. Robin Marsh, Secretary General of Universal Peace Federation UK and Director of WHD, for summing up Embracing Moral Day so well. Morality is doing what is right, having concern for others, valuing their lives, not just yours. And that concludes Embracing World Moral Day. If this discussion inspired you, please like it, share it, send us a comment. Also, do share with us your takeaways from today. Follow us on our social media accounts, click subscribe on our YouTube channel, WHD Media. Visit our WHD website, whd.org.uk, for more inspiring events. Everyone, stay safe and healthy. These are times we should strengthen our bodies, minds, emotions, and our faith. Please remember to have compassion, be kind to yourself, others, and our planet. To our frontliners, we salute you. We thank you for your hard work, sacrifices, and dedication to humanity. We would like to thank all our honorable guests and speakers, academic partners, and especially to you watching this. I'm Viva Andrade O'Flynn. Stay safe and healthy. Peace, morality, and love to you all.
Thank you very much, and all the best to you. Excellent job. Excellent job.
Dear President, thank you so much. I know it's taken a long time of yours. I'm really sorry. I think millions of people giving them hours is, I think, a valid excuse. But anyway, thank you so much, President.